At the beginning of the movie, we see a cute little girl of 10 years old. The child was named Sophie, who lived in an azalea because her parents had died. Sophie had insomnia, so she used to stay awake the whole night and roam around in the azalea because she could not sleep the whole night. And like every child, she had a fear there is a Babaji who comes in the dark of the night and picks up the children, and then he kills and eats these children. One night, while everyone is sleeping, he hears the sound of a cat near the window. Now that she couldn't sleep, she wanted to see him. When she is in the balcony, she sees that some cats drop the dustbin. Then suddenly she sees that a giant's hard dustbin is lifted from the back of the building and put in its place. At the back of the building, a large tree rises. Sophie had seen the giant, and he had seen Sophie. She gets scared and quickly goes to bed. But he puts his hand inside the giant window, picks up Sophie, and takes her with him. We see that this joint was not exposed to humans, and when a person came in his way, he used to hide himself somehow and then escape from everyone's eyes. Then he comes to another world with Sophie, and this world was the world of joints. That is, only joints lived here. Sophia is a very big house, and everything there was grown like giants. Sophie tries to run away. On Zeus, the giant says that there is no way to escape from here, so you cannot go anywhere from here. She is shocked to hear this. She notices that it is an old giant. He puts the giant Sophie on this pan and says that I feel very hungry. I'm so hungry I can't control it. Sophie was thinking that this joint is going to hit me. She notices the sound of more joints laughing there. That is why she asks the old joint whether there are more joints here. That old joint on the JIS says that yes, there are more joints here, and all those joints are cannibal. That is, they eat humans raw. Why? They do not feel pity for any person, and whatever they get their hands on, they swallow that person. Hearing this, Sophie gets even more scared. That's why they ask the old joint, will you eat me too? That old joint on the JIS says, no, I don't eat humans. Because I'm a vegetarian joint, not a cannibal, and this old joint is just a vegetable list, which was not good at all in the test. But his father does not want to eat humans, and this shows that he is a good and compassionate giant. She asks the old giant, if you don't eat humans, then why have you brought me here? That old joint on Jesus says, because you saw what I did and you told someone there about me, which could have put my life in danger, so that humans would find us and they would come here and kill the other giants as well. And that's why I had to bring you here, and now you're going to spend the rest of your life here with me. Sophie says on Zeus that no, I will run away from here. That old joint on the Jaya says that no, you do not even make the mistake of getting out of here. Otherwise you will not come to know the joint sitting outside. Saying this, the old joint puts Sophie on a boat and tells her that you rest for a while. But she couldn't sleep. Then she sees that the joint is taking out big bottles from her bag. There was something in those bottles that was glowing. Then she asks the giant what is in these bottles. That joint on the JIS says that it has dreams, i.e. dreams. She says, well, it's not of any use to me because I don't have dreams and I will have dreams too. Because I can't sleep. Then this joint starts reading the book, which was with Sophie. There are many stories in this book. The old joint begins to read those stories. Sophie falls asleep on the floor. After this, the old joint takes a bottle and has to take out a dream from it. Just then, Sophie's eyes open and she sees that the old joint is still asleep. That is why she takes advantage of the opportunity to get out of that house and tries to run away from there. But then he got hold of a very big joint, and it was actually a very big joint in front of that old joint. Sophie tells the joint that please let me go from here, but he does not listen to one of the joints, Sophie, and he goes to Eusenical. Immediately after this, the eyes of the couch open. This meant that Sophie was seeing a dream. After waking up, she asked the giant, I know you did this, right? Because I'm not dreaming, but this dream that you have shown me, it was very scary. On Zeiss, the giant says that I had to do this, and I have done this so that I can tell you how much brother is a threat to you. That's why it's better to stay here. The old giant explains to Sophie that here, the giants are not, they're much bigger in size than me, and I am nothing in front of those giants, because I am a small joint and I am also old. Just now those people were talking that only then a very big joint comes inside, and the sentence itself was very big compared to that old joint. As soon as the joint comes, he asks the old joint that tell me what were you talking about? The dwarfs now called all the joints here the old joint because it was the smallest in size. The old joint replies that otherwise I was not talking to anyone. During this, Sophie also been somewhere. There was an injury on the hand of this big joint, so he came to the old joint to get the bandage. Now, because that joint was cannibal, that's why he smells human in that house. That's why he sees everything there is. Just then, Sophie goes inside the vegetable that the old man used to eat. And when that joint smells that vegetable, it smells human. Before today, this joint had never eaten this vegetable, but today it was smelling good from this vegetable. The human scent was coming because the joint starts eating what Sophie was in it. Seeing this, the old joint says, "Wait, you can't eat this. Have you forgotten that you don't eat vegetables?" That joint on the JIS says that yes, how did I forget that I do not eat vegetables? So he throws away the vegetables and the life of the sofa is saved. Thereafter he goes away. Then the old joint had to go somewhere, and the couch asks him, "Where are you going?" On the JIS, the old joint says that I am going for some important work. She asks him what is important, but he doesn't tell her anything. Then he tells Sophie with enough force that I am going to catch dreams. Then Sophie tells him enough to take me with him, but he did not want to take her with him because the giants who were sleeping outside, if they woke up, they saw Sophie, it would be very bad. He didn't want to take any risk, but Sophie inspires him so much that he agrees to take her with him. When they come out, they see that all the joints are in deep sleep. That's why both of them wanted to pass between them. But in such a short time, the eyes of all those joints are opened and they start troubling the old joint. "Tell me where you're going," he says. "I am doing my job." The giants say, "We don't want you to get out of here. Go to the world of humans, because if humans get to know about us, our lives will be in danger." All those giants annoy the old giant very much, and then taking advantage of the opportunity, Sophie hides in a car. But then the old joint points to the sky and says that they see that clouds have formed on the sky and it is going to rain. Actually, all those giants were afraid of water because they had water phobia, and then it starts raining there and all those giants go and shut up. So taking advantage of the opportunity, both of them, i.e. the old giant and Sophie, leave from there. They begin to climb the mountains. As they walk, they go far beyond the clouds. Sophie says that these stars are looking very cute from here. The old joint says that I can also listen to their music. He says I can hear everything in the world. I can hear the chirps, I can hear the insects, even I can hear the stories of the trees. My ears are so loud that they can hear every sound in the world. I can't believe it, Sophie said. On your words, the old giant says that this is the truth, son. You have to believe. After this, those people reach 100,000, who have a very big and very big. The sun was the tree. The old joint jumps into the water and the couch with them. The two then reach the other side of the lake, and this is the world of dreams, because dreams fall like shears from that tree, and the old joint comes here only to catch them. And then they have many dreams together. There were both good and bad dreams, catching these dreams. Then these people start going back. The two have become very good friends and were very happy with each other. The old joint also tells him his sad story, that all the joints here call me Bona, but then he is happy to think that I had also found someone here who called me Big Friendly Joint that he had said. On hearing this, Sophie says, "So from today I will also call you Big Friendly Joint, i.e. BFG. After catching dreams, these people roam around the city, where children are sleeping in their own homes, and Big Friendly Joint, i.e. BFG, gives them very good dreams and sleep, so that people can find happiness in their dreams. Here's what we know, because BFG is a very good heart joint that brings dreams from the world of dreams and gives them to people so that they can bring happiness in their lives while sleeping." "What about your dreams?" asked Sophie. "Did he tell you?" On Zeiss, that joint, i.e. BFG, says that joints do not have parents. Then she asks BFG, "How old are you?" BFG answers that I am as old as this world. That is, since this world was formed, these joints were also formed. But they live in this world. Then they go back behind the walls. Sophia suddenly asks where my blanket is. In fact, Sophie's blanket was left in the world of joints, and this makes the BFG upset. That's why he tells Sophie that now I can't take you with me, because by now those joints must have known that there is a human being with me. And here the BFG tells Sophie one thing, that many years ago I got a child, and he was also as cute and innocent as you are, and he also saw me like you. That's why I taught that child also the world of joints, and the same child taught me to read. And this jacket that you're wearing belongs to the same innocent little friend of mine. But before I could bring that child back to his world, it was too late, and I don't want what happened to that child that happened to that friend of mine. It will happen to you also because you were also a friend of mine, wasn't it? So he decides to leave Sophie there. Although Sophie strongly disapproves of them, she insists on staying and walking with him. But this time he doesn't believe me. The BFG then leaves him in Azula and starts to leave. Now because Sophie did not want to stay there, she jumped from the balcony because she knew that the BFG would save her, and it is so the BFG rescues her, and she is forced to obey Sophie even though she doesn't want to. That's why he brings her back to the world of joints, where the rest of the joints were already waiting for those people because all the joints had known that there was a human near the old joint. That's why all the joints now wanted to know who that person is. Where are you? That's why they checked BFG's house with the help of blankets and vandalize all the things. But BFG burns the blanket, which had Sophie's fragrance. Then he tells all the gents to leave his house. Sophie sees a picture on the wall there, which was the picture of the princess. Seeing that picture, Sophie gets an idea and she tells BFG that you make a dream for the princess, and in that dream, a world of joints is read. In this world, and all those joints are so dangerous that they kill and eat children. And in this dream, you should include both of us, so that when we go in front of the princess, she recognizes us. Hearing this, BFG does the same, and he makes a dream of all the joints living in the world of joints, and he also puts himself and the sofa in that dream, and at the same time, he also puts a lot of missing children in the city. Then they go to the princess's house with that dream, and they put that dream in the princess's sleep, and the princess sees everything that they wanted to show the princess. When the princess's eyes open, she is very scared because it was a horror movie because the giants were eating the children. The princess also tells her caretaker about this dream. The caretaker says on Zeus that do not worry, it was just a scary dream of yours, but when she reads the newspaper, she says that it has become a very strange thing because last night many children were missing from their homes, and this scene has happened just like you have seen the dream. Just then the princess says that remove the curtains, and as soon as the curtains were removed, Sophie was standing at the window. In fact, he had also put this thing in the dream and put the BFG in it. Then Sophie tells them about the BFG, and at the same time, she takes a promise from the princess that you will promise me. You will not cause any harm to the BFG. And then the BFG. He comes in front of the princess and bends down in front of her. Then the princess also fulfills her promise. Well, there was also a funny thing about the joints here that they did not speak any word properly. That is why he used to call the queen Marjani. BFG used to call human as Inzan and vice versa. After this, the princess welcomes them well and gives them a very good feast. Then these people tell the princess that there are 9 big joints in the world of giants that catch and eat humans and children. That's why the princess agrees to help them and prepares a whole army of her own, who with the help of the BFG leave for the world of giants in their helicopters. They had a plan here. That is why they stop at one place according to the plan, because they came to attack them with full preparation. The plan was that the BFG would create a dream, and in that dream the BFG would put shame and regret for these joints, for his bad deeds that he did, and the BFG makes such a dream too. But as soon as the HPFG goes to put dreams in those giants, then they remember the dream. I have left the thing to be put in the princess's palace, and it was difficult to do without that thing because it had to go to those giants. But Sophie dares to take the dream jar to the place where the giants were sleeping. But before that Sophie could break the jar, the leader of the joints gets up, and as soon as he is about to catch Sophie, Sophie breaks the jar, and this dream goes to the sleep of those joints. Those who were sleeping, and when those joints wake up, they are ashamed of their bad work. But the one who was the leader of the joints was awake, so he does not feel any remorse and embarrassment, and that is why he attacks Sophie. But then BFG comes in front of that joint. Now because the BFGs were very small, that joint picks them up in his hand, but as soon as he starts killing the BFG, the whole army of the princess comes there with helicopters, and they catch all the joints and take them with them, and they are left on an island in the middle of the sea. Why now? Because there was water around them and they were afraid of water, so they could not run away from there, and that is why they are stuck here forever. Princess also throws vegetable seeds there for those joints, so that these joints grow vegetables there with the help of those seeds and eat this vegetable for the rest of their lives. Now, because those joints did not like this vegetable, But even if he wanted to eat, he had to eat this vegetable and live on this island for the rest of his life. After this, we see Sophie, who does not live in Vizsla, but lives in the palace of the princess. And here Sophie is very happy, and she can also talk to BFG whenever she wants because BFG told that he can hear all the voices of this world. On the other hand, BFG, who is now left alone in the world of joints, who has grown many other vegetables besides that vegetable in the world of joints, is also very happy in his life. Sophie goes to the window every morning and says good morning to BFG, to which BFG listens and answers, and this lovely movie ends here. Thanks for watching. What's your favorite moment in the BFG? And do you enjoy fantasy films? Let us know in the comments.